Good evening, everyone. Welcome. This is a very special edition of, well, we're not even going to call it Rotor Talk Live. More news about the DJI Mavic Mini. Marcus, how are you this evening?
Darn good, Bill. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. You know, it's like we're getting all this incredible news about the Mavic Mini here. I'm gonna all right, we got that handled. Okay.
Good.
Yeah. Incredible news today. Okay. First of all, we had the news about the event, and that was leaked early this morning. And then lo and behold, something came to Best Buy influencers today that we're going to go over, and I'm going to share with everybody here. So I assume you got was that you or Ron that got the email today?
Well, I posted that thing about the influencers.
Oh, you posted. Okay.
And I got to tell you, Bill, I want to give credit where credit is due. I actually found that link. A fellow had posted it on Drone Seekers, believe it or not.
Okay. All right. Okay. Because I think you have to spend so much money to be a part of their influencers program. I think that's how that works. So we're going to just jump right into this here. Now, there's some new pictures that we haven't seen before. And I think the first thing, let me go ahead and share here. Okay. And am I sharing the right thing, Marcus?
Yeah, you got it, Bill.
Okay, good. Okay. Now, the first thing that strikes me about this, DJI Global Mavic Mini, okay? Which I think is pretty, you know, that's incredible. Now, here's definitely, I'm going to go ahead and bring up these two pictures here.
Oh, those pictures were amazing.
Yeah, these are absolutely amazing pictures here. And you can see, you can read Mavic Mini on the arm here. Look at that camera. I mean, that's a pretty stout looking camera right there.
So, Bill, I looked at that camera and I was trying to decide if it was 2-axis or 3-axis. The other thing that stuck out to me, and I think somebody else had pointed it out, is the props are different than DJI has ever done. They literally are kind of like the Paradenofi. They're 2-piece and they screw on.
Yeah, that is very, very, very different from DJI's of past. And Mark Emerson, welcome. Frank Walker, welcome. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and bring up the other picture here. Okay, that really shows an awful lot of detail right there. You know, and what's nice is that battery is in that back compartment, so it's not going anywhere. It's in there rock solid. And I got to give some kudos to DJI for that, because, you know, as you know, on the Mavic, you know, they're exposed on the top. On the Spark, they used to be exposed on the bottom, but here it's gonna be in a compartment, which is kind of almost akin to the Phantom 4 series, but you know, there's a door on the back, so that battery is going to be secure in there.
Hey, Bill, so I was looking at this picture and I was wondering what those windows are. You see the one at the bottom in the middle of the drone, and the one
right
at the top. Yeah, the one at the top that's by the battery compartment. Possibly just for venting, but made me curious.
That's possible. That's real possible. You know, well, it's talked about, and we're going to go ahead and get down to the specs here. Now, what this is just to explain to people. Marcus found this link out on Drone Seekers, and he sent that to Ron and I today. And apparently, what this is for people who are members of the Best Buy Influencer Network. And again, I think you have to have spend an awful lot of money to be a part of that. But what that is they're looking for people to talk about the Mavic Mini on social media via blog, Facebook, and Twitter posts. And if you do that and make this, you have to get accepted to the program. They'll send you a $100 gift card. Now, they did list some specs that they'd like you to talk about. So 249 grams, ultralight, 30 minutes maximum flight time, 4 kilometers HD video transmission, vision sensor plus GPS precise hover, 3-axis, 2.7K camera, simplified recording and editing. Okay. First thing I want to talk about with that is, you know, a couple of things. The 30-minute maximum flight time, because everything I had been hearing prior to this was 18 minutes. If DJI can get 30 minutes out of a battery that size, Marcus, they've probably broken some new ground with technology.
Well, that's the first thing I thought of too. When I saw that, I thought, I don't care if it's just 2.7K. That 30-minute flight time, that'll do it for me right there. And by the way, Bill, I just noticed that they are specifying a 3-axis gimbal. When
Right.
we looked at that picture, I wonder if it's if that third axis is electronic. Just a guess, and I'm just curious.
Now, my source was telling me that pretty much what you can think of this camera, it's like the Osmo Pocket, okay? As far as the gimbal movement and everything is concerned, he says, imagine an Osmo Pocket camera on here, and he said that's what you have. But I think it looks a little bit different from what we're seeing here. Now, my source is still indicating to me that it's 4K, but as Marcus said, a 2.7K camera with 30 minutes of flight time, I mean, you're going to get some incredible video with this. It's 12 megapixel for the stills, but you'll be able to shoot some incredible video with this. And the other thing, Marcus, 4 kilometers HD video transmission, with something like this, that has to be OcuSync. Okay, that's not going to be Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's really interesting, that one. It looks like they're kind of billing it. If you look at some of the other promotional material, they're billing it as kind of a selfie drone a little bit. So that 4 kilometers of range was surprising to me. I mean, it's a good thing, but I was caught off a little off guard. And you're absolutely correct. There's no way that is. It's at least some. If it's not OcuSync, it's some other technology that DJI has come up with.
In the chat, Mark Emerson posts, hi, heard the batteries were 2X 18650s. If that's the case, that's pretty incredible. I mean, if they're able to pack this kind of power in that size of a frame, that's pretty good. Want to give quick shout outs here. Brandon Rain is in, Philly Drone Life's in, Junie's Visual is in, Cold War Television is in, Drone Master is here, Phantom Addict is here, and DumbTube is here, Frank Walker and Mark Emerson. So just want to give a quick shout out. Let's go ahead and go down here some more. This talks about this project criteria and a little bit more detail here. Stabilized gimbal camera. Mavic Mini supports 12 megapixel aerial videos and 2.7 quad HD videos. A 3-axis motorized gimbal provides superior camera stability and ensures clear, ultra-smooth footage. Remote controller. A dedicated remote controller maintains an HD low-latency video feed at a distance of up to 4 kilometers. Detachable control sticks can be easily stored inside the remote controller for added portability, just like the Mavic 2. Right. Absolutely, just like that. Extended flight time. Mavic Mini's weight allows it to stay in the air longer than similar consumer fly cams on the market. Enjoy up to 30 minutes of flight time with a fully charged battery. Quick shots, which we've seen before. I mean, it's going to continue that Droney, Circle, Helix, Rocket, which will be good. Cine Smooth mode. Slow down Mavic Mini's flight speed and movements for an added layer of precision and stability. This mode is especially useful when flying in narrow or complex spaces. That's tripod mode, Marcus. Right. That's what that is. Right. Discover popular spots. The DJI Fly app gives users integrated access to SkyPixel, a social media platform for users to share their aerial photos and videos. Okay.
Hold it, Bill. I just noticed something there.
What's that?
I can't believe we didn't spot this before. Look what it says for the app. It says DJI Fly app. It does not say Go 4.
Look at that. It's going to have a new app.
That's what
on its own.
Well, we're just guessing, but they sure called it something different here.
Yeah, that's a good catch, Marcus. I mean, we're just, this is the information that's being presented to us and it looks legit. It's out on a Best Buy website here. So now it's real interesting. It does list up a lot of the accessories that are here. A 2-way charging hub. It can be used to store and transport batteries and even as a power bank to charge your mobile device. Do-it-yourself creative kit. Make your fly cam truly yours with this kit that includes shell stickers and colorful markers. charging base. Show off your Mavic Mini while charging it with this convenient charging base. Mini bag with this signature shoulder bag, perfect for everyday use. Snap adapter. Personalize your Mavic Mini with a wide range of compatible accessories when you use this snap adapter. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I wonder what that means.
Yeah.
I read that a couple times. I mean, is it just a cosmetic thing, or is it some functional accessories?
You know, I don't know, Marcus. And you know, and that goes down to like propeller holder, and it talks about the lightweight propeller holder protects your fly cam propellers from being damaged during transportation. It could also be used to fasten your Mavic Mini to your bag or your belt. Okay, now this is continuing. This is pretty much the end of this here, and I'm dropping a link in the description so everybody can check this out. A couple of things. One of the things, Marcus, that kind of hit me is up at the top. It had DJI Global. Okay, it just didn't say DJI Mavic Mini. It said DJI Global Mavic Mini. Okay, that's something that kind of jumped out to me.
That was a good catch, Bill.
And you know, the thing about the propellers, I think that's gonna be pretty incredible because they'll fold up like you said, like on the Anafi, which means this will truly be extremely portable. I mean, just grab and go and you're in the air kind of a thing. I mean, it's just it sounds like it's just going to be super easy to get this up in the air. You know, some of their terminology here is kind of interesting that they use because, you know, they're talking about some things, you know, they're renaming some things that we know of from other things like the Cinesmooth mode, which is really, you know, tripod mode. The two-way, you know, the typical accessories is what you're seeing here, but the snap adapter is kind of interesting. And it's also the charging base. It says show off your Mavic Mini while charging it. Kind of reminds me, maybe it could be akin to that charging base that came with the Spark, where you would put put the Spark in, and you could charge up the batteries around it. Maybe it's something like that. You know, I don't know. I mean, that's really, really interesting. Let's see. I just want to go in the chat here, see if anybody, good evening, Phantomatic. Mike Kinney's here. What was the flight time? Mike, it had it listed as 30 minutes. AJ Alvarez, do you need to change the app now? Should be Go 5 app? That's a good question, AJ. I don't know. We don't know if that was just some terminology that Best Buy may have used, or the DJI supplied that to them. You know, I don't know if they're going to go with a new app. I really, you know, they've been able to do, look what they've been able to do out of the DJI Go 4 app. I mean, it ran everything from the Spark up through the Phantom 4. And, you know, that's a lot of drones. I mean, to have on that one app. Okay. That was an awful lot. And, you know, the Enterprise series has their own app to run. So, and again, I'm pretty sure, I'm not too familiar with the Inspire. I believe they probably have their own app as well too. So,
hey, Bill.
Mark, yeah,
a couple of thoughts with regard to the camera and where they stated that it has 2.7K. Now you had a good catch there. You pointed out that it was what do you call it, the global version or whatever.
Yeah.
Is it possible, because your source is saying 4K, could we be getting a different version in the US with a 4K camera?
That is a very good possibility. That could really be possible here. You know, that's some good food for thought. You know, and it just kind of begs the question here that, you know, they're coming out with two models, but I think, you know, they showed it coming at 249 grams. That's something else. 1 gram under the limit here. Now, you know, I know for us here in the United States, as I've talked about before, you know, it saves us from the registration fee. But in a lot of other countries, especially I know up in Canada, not only will it save them from a registration fee, they won't have to take an exam. I mean, this is something literally you get it out of the box. You don't have to register it. You charge your batteries. You put your phone on it, and you're ready to go.
Hey, another thought with that 2.7K spec that we saw there, Bill, because it looks to me like it's being marketed a little bit as a selfie drone, could that be for quicker uploads, right? They want a smaller video file to upload faster. Just a thought, you know, or is it a differentiator so that they can differentiate, you know, their from their more expensive products?
It could be. It really could be. And you know, that kind of almost begs the question that, you know, maybe they do have a new app for this, okay, and it's exclusive to this series. You know, and you know, and I think they chose the name well. I think the design. I think a lot of people, we really haven't talked a whole lot about the design. I think the design is a winner because, you know, it's just like the Mavic 2. It, you know, it reminds you of that. It does not remind you of the Spark. It does not remind you of the Mavic Air. It reminds you of a Mavic 2. And when people think, DJI was so smart with this because, you know, the Mavic 2, if you go out there like on YouTube, hundreds, if not thousands of videos on the Mavic 2. Okay. I mean, it is a instantly recognizable name.
Right.
And I think this is what DJI was going here for, was that name brand recognition again. And I think this is going to be a home run for them.
Yeah, if it's at the price point that we keep hearing, they'll they won't be able to make them fast enough. So seriously, anybody that's thinking about buying one, I would definitely hit that button on the first day, because I'm willing to bet that they'll be selling really fast, particularly with the specs that we're seeing. The other point that I want to make, Bill, and you touched on it a little bit, was the size and the portability. That was the one thing that I found out about the Spark, and I've said this a few other times. I came to the Spark camp pretty late. I already had a Mavic 2. I then got a Spark. What I discovered about the Spark was that it was so convenient, and I ended up taking it with me a lot because it was so easy to carry, so easy to deploy, so easy to retrieve. If this thing is even more compact and easier to carry around, man, that's another winner. Couple that with a 30-minute flight time, and wow, I'm not sure how you can go too wrong there.
You know, yeah, and you know, I don't want to belabor this here because I know you know, other people want to watch. You know, I know Ken Heron's show's coming up, and I know a lot of people want to watch that. But you know, I think one of the things here, you know, the price point on this is so incredible. I mean, I think this is going to be all the way around. It's going to be a huge winner. And I think, like Marcus said, I mean, when that clock strikes 9 a.m. Eastern time next Wednesday, you know, if you haven't ordered it by a minute after, you may not be able to, because, you know, the initial runs are going to be limited from what I'm hearing here. So yeah, Pacific Northwest, I'm buying immediately. Yeah. Hey, yeah, Lauren, welcome tonight. Yeah. You know, it's going to be something that's literally going to fly off the shelves, number one. And number two, and I think, again, I think we kind of touched on it the other night on Rotor Talk Live when we talked about production capabilities, you know, especially, you know, looking at the Skydio 2, which both you and I have pre-ordered. You know, that literally, it would fly off the shelves if they had the production capability. And, you know, that's something I think, like we talked about, when they get some angel investors and when they see how well that the Skydio 2 is going to do, it's going to take off and they'll be able to gear up production wise. And this is going to be a win for everybody. It's going to be a win for, you know, drone enthusiasts everywhere, because, you know, it's going to force DJI to crank it up a notch, and it's going to force Skydio to crank it up a notch. And that means everybody's going to win tonight. I mean, everybody. Nicholas said it has air ducts on there. The Mini is sounding more and more interesting. I'm curious to know if it'll work with a smart controller. Michael, that's unknown at this time. It would take OcuSync 2.0. And from what my understanding is, the airframe is not big enough for OcuSync 2.0. The only two, the aircraft that have that now are the Mavic 2 series and the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0. They're the only ones that have OcuSync 2.0 right now. Marcus, any closing thoughts to this information that we have tonight?
Hey, so I see some chat there that people are asking about the price. You know, a lot of people have said $399 with the controller. That's just a guess, and we won't know until Wednesday when they introduce it for sure. So, but if it's anywhere close to that, it's going to be a winner. You know, I got to tell you, Bill, if the specs we're seeing are correct, yeah, I'll hit that buy button immediately. How about you?
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, you know, this is going to be, and you know, and I know a lot of people. One of the other things that I kind of wanted to talk just a little bit more about before we close up shop here tonight is, you know, the factor of the weight in this, in terms of that and the wind. And I believe, you know, if the motors are like other motors, like from the Mavic 2 series, and you and I had talked about this, you know, when you talked about having your Mavic 2 up on a windy day, you know, and 25-mile-an-hour winds, and it can hold its own up there. And a lot of that is due to the fact those motors, when it's windy up there, and I'm gonna say at 50 feet, like it's above me, it's real interesting because you hear those motors revving up and revving down to compensate for that wind. And you're not seeing the drone do any of this. It's coming down and it's nice and smooth, okay? Even in that kind of tremendous wind. And that's why I've always said, you know, I've seen, you know, I did that wind test with the Mavic 2 and the Phantom 4. And, you know, and I'm kind of thinking, you know, it was like, well, you think about it, I think the Mavic 2 probably really does win that test, because of that. The motors in that are just absolutely incredible.
Hey, Bill, I need to make a quick point here. Lauren is saying that the ones from Best Buy, those specs are incorrect. And
Okay.
Here's what I'm going to tell everybody. Lauren has been right about everything all along. So he's got a lot of credibility.
Lauren, the specs are dropped in the description, and I sent you the link already to that. Those are the specs that we listed here. So anything else, Marcus? Any other thoughts?
That's about it. I think we covered it. I could say this, if nothing else, if all of that information we've seen is wrong, it sure has whipped up a lot of excitement. I'll say that.
It sure has. Malcolm, there's a link in the description for the Best Buy link. Now, Lauren is saying 18 minutes as far as battery is concerned. And, you know, again, you know, Lauren has also told me that, you know, we're definitely looking at a 4K type of camera. So, you know, we're just presenting you this information that was given to us. You know, we don't make any claims on whether or not this information from Best Buy is true. Okay, my source is telling me that, you know, part of this information is incorrect. So again, you know, we will see and we will hear come Wednesday at 9 a.m. You know, my strong advice is to be on that website at 9 a.m. next Wednesday morning Eastern time, and, you know, don't hesitate. That's all I'm going to say. Absolutely, do not hesitate. Just a programming note. One of the things that we're going to do, if Ron's available, we're going to have a post-release analysis at noon that day. I work from home on Wednesdays, so we can do that. I'll be joined by Marcus, and hopefully Ron will be available. You know, we'll kind of break things down. We'll look at the specs, and, you know, we'll take a look and see. So I want to thank everybody for showing up on a moment's notice. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And again, it's a great day to fly. Thank you so much, everybody, for showing up on this fly tonight.